Hey guys, morning everybody. Happy Tuesday. Today's Tuesday, May 23rd. It is 6:21 right now. Market's going to open in about 9 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set this room real quick and we'll get started with our analysis shortly. It's got a couple of things here to update and we should be good to go. Scan. All right, perfect. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. And we should be good to go. It's like people are making their way in, so I'll get a few moments for people to join, and then we will get started shortly. All right, guys. Morning, everybody. Today's Tuesday, May 23rd. It is 6:24 right now. Market's going to open in about 6 minutes. So we will get started shortly as soon as people make their way in. So let's see who's here so far. Morning, Gwen. Morning, AR. Morning, Nick. Morning, T. Morning, Kenny. Morning, Karen. Morning, Johnny. Morning, Maria. Morning, CJ. Morning, Van Hartwig. Morning, Saren. Morning, Andrew. Morning, guys. Sorry, market's gonna open shortly, guys. So what I'm gonna do here first is I'm gonna mark up liquidity. So I'll mark up liquidity real quick, just so that we're aware of any possible liquidity levels. I did see some price movement here pre-market, where liquidity did get hit and actually pushed down pretty nicely. I was kind of tempted to enter it, but I was kind of busy setting up my copier because my account is now reactivated on my FTMO. Let's had to shift things around. They had moved me to the other server. If you guys are familiar with FTMO, they have like two main servers, server 1, server 2. I was on server 2. I guess they're doing maintenance and they just shifted me over to server 1, the original one. So had to re-enable my account and just do everything over again, but it's all good. Looks like it's good to go now. So it's a couple more things here to update. All right. So it looks like I almost got my liquidity levels marked up. So if you guys are new here, I'm marking up liquidity using my high-low indicator, basically marking up where I'm identifying where people's stop losses are sitting, whether they be on the buy side or the sell side. There's people on both sides of the market, so I'm pretty much identifying where everyone's stop losses are on either side. So that when price does hit that point, we can catch liquidity and then we can ride it into the abyss. So, all All right, looks good for the most part. As you guys can see, there's liquidity here, but it got knocked out already. So unfortunately, not going to be usable for us, but it's all good. All right, so market is opening in about 3 minutes, guys. Let me check the news real quick, because I believe there is news today. News over here at there's news at 6 o'clock. I remember Logan was speaking. 6:45. We got news really close. 6:45. Flash services PMI. Flash services PMI. Flash manufacturing PMI. New home sales PMI. Richmond manufacturing index. So 6:45 and 7. We got really close news here. So you want to be a bit careful. Taking any entries on open. So if, say for example, the oh crap, I just realized that I marked up liquidity on the wrong chart. Or no, let me check real quick. I did. It's all good. I'll just use the main chart as liquidity, and then I'll just remark it up after the live session starts. So this is the main chart right here. We have news over here at 6:45. And then we have news over here at 7. Yeah, I just realized I marked it up on the wrong chart, but it's all good. All right, guys, market is opening in about 2 minutes. I'll clean this up. I get a chance to clean up my charts because I typically just, when the live session is done, I'm pretty much done for the day. So I marked up liquidity here on the normal chart. It's okay. I'll just make adjustments later. But yeah, at the moment right here, this is where liquidity is sitting. We have liquidity up top. It's about like 500 pips away. Liquidity on the bottom is very far, so I don't think this is going to get hit. If it does get hit, it's going to be because of news. News is probably going to push price down super heavy. So liquidity on the bottom is about 150 points, which is 1,500 pips, very far away. Closest liquidity would be right here up top. All right, guys, market is opening in about a minute. That news coming up right here, 6:45. Refresh my FX book. Yeah, 6:45, that's about it. 6:45 and then 7, and that's pretty much it. All right, nice. Brock's here early for the liquidity grab. Morning, Shannon. Morning, Brock. Morning, Satya. Morning, Akash. Morning, guys. All right, guys. Morning, everybody. D, I see your question. I will take a look once we market opens. I don't want to miss this liquidity push. So, we'll see where this is. Morning, Johnny. Morning, Karen. Morning, Kenny. Morning, everybody. All right, prices. There we go. Opening bell. Market is now open. Let's see where price pushes down to. I mean, if price pushes down, we have liquidity down here. But again, if you guys remember from what I discussed yesterday, you don't want it to be a straight push. You kind of want it to push down, consolidate. You want it to be messy. So a messy push to the downside or a messy push to the upside is actually a good thing. So let's keep that in mind, guys, when looking here. All right, so we don't have any liquidity here yet. We don't have any entries for a high-low momentum scalp either, so we're not really missing out on anything here. I'm going to go here to the clean chart. I'm going to mark up opening candle right there, 6:30. Mark up the 8 o'clock candle right there, 8 o'clock. Mark up opening price right there so that you guys have an idea. We got a bigger picture right here on the clean chart. All right, so price, as you guys can see, is kind of crazy. It's all over the place. We're getting really close to the news today. It's at 6:45. It's in about 15 minutes. So you might want to be careful. Like, if you don't have that liquidity push on open, then you might want to just sit out if any liquidity gets hit around that time or anywhere near it, because you might get manipulation from news, of course. So prices are dropping down pretty heavy right here, guys. It's getting close to this lower level right here. So if that becomes the case, then you might want to wait for it to retrace. So this is kind of the pattern that I'm looking for here. I want price to push down, retrace, consolidate, range, drop down again, fake out, push up. And then when it comes down here, that's where I'm going to make my entry for a sell, if I'm looking for the sell. So I want a messy movement like this. I don't want a straight push down. So this is perfect. If you get a straight push down like this is a no-go, because when price reaches this area, it's probably going to retrace again and then come back down, right? And then if it retraces too hard, it might come up, hit your stop loss, and then come down and hit your TP. So just make sure that you look for, I mean, you actually want something messy. A lot of people avoid messiness, but I'm actually looking for messiness, because that messiness is going to set up for the breakout up to our liquidity. All right, we have a lower low right here. If we get a buy signal here, technically this could be a high-low momentum scalp. No buy signal yet. Something's drawn on the chart. Let me delete that real quick. All right, so price broke and closed past the pivots 1 and 2, but there was no buy signal. So there's not going to be an entry here for a high level momentum scalp, unfortunately. It's all good. We'll wait for the next one. Let me fix those annotations. All right, I forgot to turn that off pre-market. All right, so well, since we have some downtime right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, or actually might not. I was going to go over to the, all right, price is pushing up a little bit right here. We are getting pretty close to the, we're getting pretty close to the news candle, guys. So if I do hit liquidity here, I'm probably only going to go for 100 pips, because it's just getting too close to news. You don't want to be holding liquidity once it gets close to news, because a lot can happen. Price can spike in either direction. So if we have, okay, it looks like we have a little bit of downtime here. What I'm going to do here real quick is I'm going to go and mark up liquidity on the actual liquidity chart, so that I don't get all confused with, you know, so I don't get all confused with where liquidity is sitting, because it's kind of messy on the markup chart. I like keeping it separate and just liquidity. So I'm just going to go over here real quick. As you guys can see, I can mark up liquidity within seconds. It's not that difficult. Probably don't need all these levels, but it's okay. I'm going to mark them up anyways. It's easier for me to see things. Now I'm just going to mark up the ones that are close by. All right, we're good. So this is the, all right, we're back on the liquidity chart. So yeah, I got liquidity marked up on both sides, so we're good. All right, because the other chart was just a little too messy. All right, so I got liquidity waiting up there, and we have liquidity waiting down here. However, news is coming up shortly, so I'm probably not going to mess with this liquidity, guys. Just, you know, a huge FYI. So I don't want you guys to be too tempted to take these entries here when the market is kind of it's going to start moving pretty crazy. It's high impact news, guys. It's flash manufacturing PMI and flash services PMI. So as you can see over here, red folders at 645. You want to be very careful. It's straight inflation news, so you're probably going to see a big spike when it's closer to that price point. Tyler's asking, do you have a buy stop set up top? No, I don't. It's getting too close to news, Tyler, so I'm probably not even going to take it. I was going to, but probably not anymore. All right, so let's take a look at, or if I do, it'll go for 100 pips. So I'll do it manually, but I'm not gonna put any buy or stop or sell stop, because the last thing I want to do is set a buy stop there. It triggers and then it goes straight to stop loss after it triggers, right? Because there's going to be a crazy spike coming up shortly in about less than 10 minutes. Let's see what the price difference is right now. 33,231 minus 33,158. It's about 73 points. So it's kind of tighter compared to yesterday. It's around the 70 range. So not horrible. Let's see, D said a V1 hit. Yeah, if you guys caught the V1 up here, there's a double body rejection. Pending sell signal. I think the overall bias right now is bearish, right? So looks like there was a V1 variation right there. D said, do you know how to transfer drawings over to a 1 minute if it's on a separate tab? So you can't transfer from separate tabs, but you can transfer from separate charts. D. So back to your question here. See, you can see over here I have 3 charts open. You can have multiple charts. You can't have multiple tabs that cross over. So if you have multiple tabs like this, so say for example, I'm on the 1 minute and I want to see something here on the 5 minute, right? I have multiple tabs right here. You're going to click on this, this little link tool right here. And then look how I draw a line right here on the 1 minute. It's going to show up on the 5 minute. It's going to show up on the 10 minute over here too. That's how you link these up. So that's a link tab. But you can only do it on one tab. You can't do it on multiple tabs. So if you want to have everything lined up, just use multiple tabs here. And then when you want to focus on one, just click on that, click on maximize, and there's going to be your main chart. And then if you want to, share the drawings, that's how you would draw it with the link right here. Sure, no problem, Andrew. All right, so we're getting close to news price, guys. It's 6:38 right now. News is at 6:45. We have about 7 minutes till news. Probably not going to hit liquidity, unfortunately. Here's the clean chart. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Sorry, I screwed up. I get these charts mixed up. Okay, here's a clean chart here. So I'm just going to clean this up a little bit because it's just a little too messy right now. As you guys can see, price is in a range right now. A lot of people are just waiting for news to come out. So price is pretty much ranging right here down the middle. And that's because we have news over here at 6:45. So price is probably going to just keep going back and forth. Here's resistance, here's support, or basically top and bottom, wherever you guys want to call it. Everyone has a different name for it, right? Some people call it resistance, some people call it support, some people call it a box, some people call it rectangle. Either way, price is ranging. That's what I'm trying to get across to you guys. So price is ranging right here. We have news over here at 6:45. And we'll see where that ends up taking us. Let me mark the news opening price actually right here. There's the opening price, that blue line. So you can see it better over here on the clean chart as well. Not too much going on, just back and forth movement over here. As we get close to news price in about 5 minutes. All right, so let's take a look at the overall bias right now so we have an idea of where market is currently going. So let's look at all the charts here for the technicals. Technicals are currently bearish. As you guys can see right here on the shorter time frames, 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute, price is below the pivots, trend meter is red, pivots are angling down. Down here on the 30 minute, 1 hour and 4 hour time frames, price is also bearish. You can see price is below pivots, trend meter is red, pivots are angling down. So with that said, we have an overall bearish bias with regard to the technical side with the trend. Looking over here at the fundamentals are currently down 126 points. So this is also indicating that we're in a bearish bias with regard to fundamentals. Fundamentals and technicals are now bearish. Looking over here at retail sentiment is currently 51% long. So this indicates that 51% of retail traders are currently long and 49% of retail traders are currently short. So with that said, this is pretty much neutral. Not really much for us to look at here. This is just straight neutral. So we can't really use retail sentiment. However, fundamentals are bearish. and technicals are bearish. So you probably want to look for a sell, but then again, we have news coming up in about 4 minutes. So price can really spike in either direction. I'm not expecting inflation to be good. I'm expecting it to be bad. So what I kind of hope for is I hope for price to be manipulated. I want price to be manipulated to the upside so that we can catch the correction back to the downside, right? I actually want price to get manipulated, because if we know price is going to come down or that it's supposed to come down, odds of it coming down are probably not going to happen. They're probably going to correct back down eventually at some point, but initially they're probably not going to come down. So we'll see. Eunice is asking if we're going to take that liquidity on top. Probably not. Eunice, after doing my full analysis of the technicals and fundamentals, we have a bearish bias. So I'm probably not going to really look for too much up top. I'll look for a correction back to the downside though. So price may push up right here on news, because typically price does get manipulated when news releases are put out. However, I don't know, we'll see. I'm not really predicting news at all. I'm just kind of, we're going to a recession, so I'm not expecting inflation news to be good. I'm expecting flash services and flash manufacturing to be down right now. And that's just my speculation. I don't know anything about what's going on in the market right now or in the world. But if we're still going towards a recession and interest rates are going up and stuff like that, services and manufacturing is not going to go up. If inflation is going up and interest rates are going up, it's going to cost more for these companies to manufacture and to provide services. So I'm not expecting it to be a good thing. Rick is asking, what is the lower liquidation position? It's pretty far, Rick. So it's down here. This is trading view price. This isn't MC4 price, so just keep that in mind. But it's away from current price about 1,440 pips or 144 points. So that's a long way to go. I wouldn't take entry if it comes this quickly down. What I would look for is I'd look for price to come down, retrace, range, drop further, retrace, come down close to it, fake out, retrace, and then come down. That's where I'd be looking. All right, we got news coming up in about 1 minute. Not looking to take any trades here. I think PMI is restricted on FTMO as well, so I don't want to take the trade because you're not supposed to take it like a few minutes before, a few minutes after. It's going to violate your agreement. So let me just read Hussein's question here. I think Hussein put something here. So Hussein said yesterday the bias was bearish in short-term time frames, but you took long toward liquidity. Does bias matter in liquidity push? No, it doesn't, Hussein, but only on the open liquidity. So regular liquidity, I probably wouldn't anything that happens after open. I probably would use bias as a reference, but on open, not necessarily, because the volatility there is just a quick push. It's just a quick push and then done with. And then from there, you'll have the actual direction as price continues to carry along. So opening price is always going to be very volatile and very manipulative. So you don't really care about what the overall bias is, like say the first 5 minutes of market, but once the market is fully open, then yeah, you probably want to be a bit careful because a lot can happen. All right, so the news candle is actually right at opening price. It's literally at opening price. Here we go, as price pushes up a bit higher. It's not as big of a push that I expected. So let me go over here and check the news real quick. Let me see what they released. All right, that's why, because it's pretty much mixed. Flash manufacturing PMI was negative. Flash services PMI was positive. It's not very positive, but it is positive. They're expecting it to be a bigger drop, but it's still negative. So you can see over from the previous month, it was 53.6. They're forecasting it to be 52.6, but it was technically 55.1, but it's still a drop. So these are both still negative news. It's better than expected, but it's still negative. It's negative on both sides. So I'm expecting price to probably come right back down. So we'll see. Andrew said, so we can't take any trades near this news. I mean, I can't remember but I wouldn't risk it. Once you're funded, they give you a contract and it tells you exactly which news events you can't trade. I know FOMC for sure is blocked out. I think NFP is blocked out as well. CPI is blocked out. I'm not sure about flash services, but I know CPI, PPI. A lot of these news events that are like high impact are blocked out. So I don't know what it says in the contract. It's been a while since I signed the contract. When you do sign the contract, there's a couple news events there. There's only a few. There's not a lot, but there's a couple there that you can't trade. If you trade during them, then you violate your account. You take away your funded account. It's happened to me, so I know from experience they don't budge on that at all. No, it's not on there, Maria. You have to look at the contract. It's not on the calendar. So when you guys get funded, read the contract. It says on the contract what you can trade. It doesn't matter if it's on the calendar or not. They tell you exactly, like during US30, you can't trade specific news events. You can trade some news events, but you can't trade all of them. I don't know if this one is listed, but I know CPI for sure is on there. And I believe PPI. It's just whatever is big, like, whatever is a big news event. This flash services PMI is somewhat big, but it's not a huge event. It's not like a CPI news, right? So like CPI, like something like this, CPI year over year or month over month. This stuff's like super restricted. But I wouldn't want to risk it, right? So if I know it's maybe restricted, I'm not going to risk it. What's $1,000 going to do to your account? If you blow your account, then you got to do another challenge. So just be smart about it, guys. I mean, you guys can trade certain events, but for the most part, from my experience, trading news it's not worth it from my perspective. I've lost about 3 funded accounts, or I've lost 2 funded accounts 3 times trading during news or trading during holiday, just because I got greedy. Like, I think we traded like on MLK Day, like it was supposed to be a slow day, but it was moving. So I took a trade. Market closed at like 9 o'clock or like 8:30 or something. And then I got stuck in it and I lost my account. FTO doesn't budge on it. I've been trading with them for so long, they give no second chances. Like if you violate it, you violate it. And they'll say, okay, well, I'll just do another challenge. All right, price is pushing up right here. So there may be liquidity here, but guys, you guys can see how it's overextended. I probably would not take it if it pushes up here. I know some of you guys like to take liquidity and you guys don't really care about the bias, but with this right here, price is a bit overextended. You can see we have a bunch of green candles right here. So price is pushed up from this lower point about 1,000 pips. Probably what you want to look for here is either a fake out retracement and then maybe some consolidation. And then if price does push up higher, then possibly, for 100 pips. So Hussein is asking, what percentage of your account do you risk with a funded account? The same thing that I mentioned in the last time you asked, Hussein. So let me see what I put. I think I gave you like a pretty detailed answer over here. I think it was like over the weekend. But I risk the same thing, 1.5 to 3%. I think it should be 3%. You're saying because your max daily drawdown on FTMO is going to be 5%. So I keep it within that parameter. The most I'll risk in one day is like 3%. Like if I'm taking a liquidity push and that's the only trade I want to take for the day, I'll risk 3%. And if it works, then great, I'll keep trading. If I lose, then I'm done for the day because I don't want to risk more than allotted. Because if you go anything higher than 3% and there's slippage or something happens, you can easily lose more than what you anticipated. Let's see, Hussein said, how many consecutive losses have you had in a row, if you don't mind me asking? I don't think I've lost more than 2, especially on these live sessions. All right, so it looks like liquidity here might get hit, guys. If you guys want to take it, feel free, but you might want to be a little careful. Let's see, maybe I can get into this too with you guys. Let's see where it is. So this is kind of what I wanted right here. I wanted like some sort of retracement. So I'm gonna let it retrace a little bit. And then let me see if I can put a buy stop there to catch it as it swings back up. So this is what I was worried about. So this is what I was warning you guys for earlier. Price is just a bit overextended. So like typically it'll hit like this, fake out a little bit, pull down, and then maybe shoot up. So let's see right here. And this is typical for liquidity like that to get hit. It's just overextended. Like you technically, or you basically want it to be a bit messy. Or I'll just watch it. Yeah, so this is exactly what I was telling you guys about. So like typically price will come up, fake out, retrace a little bit. And then if it comes back up and re-hits that area, it's probably gonna blast right through it. Let me see if I can get my pending order there. Yeah, C6 at freaking trap Tuesday, gonna hold and look for a confirmation. Yeah, that's what I was waiting for too, C6. So I was looking for this here to pull back a little bit, which is what it's doing. Let's see, I want to put this over here. All right, so price is pushing up, or not really, it's kind of just flat. Yeah, C6 said at Maddie, perfect example of that pause I mentioned. Yeah, this is what I've been showing you guys, like what we've been looking at in the past, guys. So like what I showed you guys in the past before was, you know, if price is overextended like this, you want to wait for at least some sort of retracement or some sort of pullback. And like what happened yesterday, or I don't know if it was yesterday or last week. We had an example where I said to wait. Price actually blasted through it. It retraced on the next one, and then it continued pushing higher from there. Right. So sometimes a retracement doesn't happen on the first move. It typically, well, I mean, usually it does. If not, it'll happen on the second move on the way back in that direction. So the retracement happened initially here, and I'm not in the position, so it's all good. Just waiting for it. So I'm just gonna move this over. All right, so this is exactly what I was warning you guys about. I'm not in the position. I'm probably just gonna cancel it, because I didn't really plan on taking a buy here anyways. I wanted to take a sell. So as I mentioned earlier, and there was actually a V1 variation right here. That came back down. So guys, here's the example of what I was showing you guys earlier. Whenever you get liquidity like this and price is just a straight push to the upside, and I mentioned this on open, I don't like when price pushes directly through or if it even has a small retracement. If you get a move like this, it's typically not a good move because you're going to get something like this where price has to eventually retrace. That's exactly what happened here. I actually want it when it's messy. So I like when price pushes up, retraces, consolidates, pushes up, retraces, pushes up, hard pullback, and then this is where I would make the entry. When I get a movement like this, when price is just going straight up and it doesn't really have a retracement, it's going to retrace. So like right here, this is where the retracement happened, right? I wouldn't be surprised if price just goes sideways for a bit before it ends up breaking out. So this is basically what we're looking for now. So now that price is kind of consolidating here, if price does come back up to this area, it's probably going to blast right through it. So it'll probably consolidate a little bit. If price comes back to this area, it'll probably shoot and go straight to this one right here. So, all right, other than that, I think that's it for right now. We got news again right here at 7 o'clock. So again, that's why I'm kind of just sitting around a little bit, waiting for the news event. News at 7 o'clock is going to be new home sales, Richmond Manufacturing Index. I'm expecting both of them to be probably negative. We'll see. So guys, just a reminder, we're having the mentoring session today. We had enough people vote. Majority of you guys voted for today. So we'll be having it today at 2 p.m. All right, some profits over here from a few of our members. We have Deswell over here, total profit of 8,350 for the day, all wins. Nice work right there, Deswell. We got Vincent over here. He took 100 pips off the liquidity push. Looks like he got in a little earlier for a little discount, total profit of about 500 for the day. Nice work, Vincent. We have Barack over here, total profit of 6,343 for the day, all wins as well. So solid work right there, Barack. Deswell here, 8,300. And we have Sisuk over here, total profit of 4,810 for the day. All right, guys, so that's pretty much all the profits for the day so far. I mean, we'll keep looking for something. There's just nothing to take right now. As you can see, price is now ranging and consolidating at this point. What I would look out for is another retest of this area and possible breakout. But I haven't taken anything yet. I'm just being a little careful because we have news events all around. And then also we have, we just don't have anything right now. Typically I like waiting for, or I like taking the liquidity push on open, but we didn't have that today. So it's all good. You know, there's going to be some days where liquidity pushes are not going to come up, and some days where it'll come up right away. But for this morning, we didn't really have much of opportunity. The liquidity pushes that came up, well, they didn't even come up this morning. This one came up right now, but it was an overextended push to the upside. So if you guys do want to take this trade here, if you guys still haven't taken it, I mean, you guys can wait for the retest. So I think if it does hit this point, it's going to push up to this next level right here. And that's pretty much going to be all the liquidity for the day, because the next level of liquidity is up here. However, we do have news coming up right here in about 2 minutes. Vince said V1 at 653, right? Yes, that is correct. There was a V1 right here. I think Satyam caught it. Yeah, Satyam said V1 rocks again. Yeah, exactly. So that's one that he caught right there. Let's see. Neji said price is falling to break out of that support, turn resistance. I think it may drop back down to 33,076. It's a pretty far drop, Neji. 33,076. That's a pretty far drop. I mean, it's going to probably hit liquidity down here, or even lower than that. Let me read that number again. 33,076. Yeah. So, I mean, it's possible. I can see it happening, Neji, but that's a pretty far drop. So price is currently up here right now. Let's just measure it. I mean, it might happen by the end of today. Yeah, that's where the TP would be right here for my liquidity push. So it's a bit far from where price is currently at. It's about 2,300 pips away. So it's a bit of a distance away. Not to say that it won't hit, but eventually, maybe by later this session or maybe even by tomorrow. Okay, so it retested again right there. Let's see if it actually pushes through. I'm not in this position though. I canceled my position. Fuck, I should have just kept it. Yeah, it's all good. So here's my analysis. It played out perfect, right, guys? So there we go. Price came back, retested it. It's probably gonna come and test the next area. I should have just left my pending order. Stupid. It's all good. I don't know why I deleted it. I should have just kept it on there. I had it waiting. So I knew this was going to play out, and it's all good. So this is the pattern that I was telling you guys. If it pushes up too far, guys, don't enter right away. Wait for it to retrace back like it did here. And when it comes back for the retest, it's going to blast right through it. So next target price point is going to be the next area of liquidity right here. It's all good. I missed it. It's cool. I don't know if I'm going to have any entries for today, guys. Okay, so never mind. I take that back. I canceled it because there was news here at 7 o'clock. Okay, so I had a reason why I canceled it. I was kind of kicking myself for canceling it, but I forgot there was news here at 7 o'clock. And that's kind of what caused the spike. Nice. Tyler caught it. He said knew it blast through upon hitting that area. Kenneth said looked away and missed it. It's all good, Kenneth. I missed it too. There was, I mean, there's news here at 7, so it's all good. I wouldn't have taken it anyways. But the good thing is that the analysis played out, right? So I just want to make sure that you guys understand that analysis in the future. So like in the future, if you guys see a pattern like that, just wait for the next opportunity for it to push up, because it's going to push up again or it's going to push down again. and then it'll probably go through and blast right through it. So let's see, Vincent over here took a trade, and nice work, Vincent. 2 full TPs right here, back to back, full profit of 1,365 for the day, all wins. So great work right there, Vincent. Straight back to back full TPs. See, S over here said I hovered my mouse to cancel it and it triggered to TP. Left my yeah, that's the best feeling, Essa. So Essa over here actually had one waiting, and then his just triggered and went straight to his TP, and he just basically got a free profit there. So yeah, again, guys, you know, I try to inform you guys as much as possible, like when these injuries do come up. But you know, even myself, I miss it sometimes because I get distracted or there's other reasons why. But it's all good. This is why I like liquidity pushes, right? Because they're so simple. Like when price gets to that point, it's like an automatic win. It's basically just free profits. Okay, so that's it with that one right there. There's another area of liquidity right here. Again, you might want to wait for some sort of retracement. You don't want a straight push to the upside. You can see right here, it's starting to consolidate a little bit. So price pushed up, retracement, and then probably when it hits this point here. So you kind of want a messy push, right? Like I mentioned, price pushed up, retrace, pushed up, retrace. You want to wait for another retrace up here somewhere. Push up, maybe another retrace, fake out. And then as soon as it hits it, blast right through. So a lot of people shy away from these unusual price movements, but I've been trading US30 for so long that I start to see these patterns. It's like, okay, like people try to stay out of the market when the market's moving crazy. But now I started to realize that when we have liquidity there, when the market's moving crazy, that's actually beneficial for us, because when it hits that point, it's like we're catching a stop loss hunt, right? As soon as it hits it, blasts right through the TP. Tyler said, done for the day. Have a great day, everyone. Definitely, Tyler. So we'll see you back here tomorrow morning. We got some more profits here in the group. We have Eunice, total profit of 104 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Eunice. And then we have Patricia over here, total profit of 7,490 for the day, all wins as well. Great work, Patricia. So yeah, guys, great work to everybody who took trades today. I haven't taken anything, so it's all good. You know, I'll be transparent with you guys. I don't say, oh, we won this trade or we won this trade, and then I didn't take it. The only trade that I'm counting are the ones that I actually take. So although that liquidity push earlier hits full TP, I'm not counting it. I did tell you guys it was going to come in, and I did mark it up, and I gave you guys a heads up. However, I didn't take it. So since I didn't take it, it's not going to count as an official trade. If I take a trade, it's going to count. If I take a loss, it's going to count. But I'll keep analyzing for you guys here. So yeah, Essa said simple for professional eyes, Sean, to be honest, because most of us will get in as soon as it hit without waiting for the retracement to happen. Yeah, I know, and it all comes with experience, Essa. That's why it's beneficial that you guys are here on the live session with me, because if you guys entered the first one here, you would have lost the trade, right? Because the price would have came down, hit your stop loss, and then it would have came back up here and hit your TP. But since I was here and I gave you guys my analysis, you guys didn't take it right away. You guys waited for it to hit or fake out, retrace. You guys could have actually caught the V1 variation here. You could have caught the fake out, take the V1 down, and then actually take another V1 right here, and then actually take the liquidity. So there's technically 3 trades here that could have been taken. V1 variation to the downside. This is not an actual V1, but it's a reversal pattern back to the upside. And then take that liquidity straight up to your TP. So yeah, you know, whenever I see something, guys, I always share my knowledge with you guys. I don't necessarily hide anything. I know a lot of people don't like to share the secrets, but I mean, I personally don't care. I share with you guys because I know the market's always changing. So I could show you guys one thing today and there might be a better thing tomorrow. So, you know, I'll try to keep you guys as updated as possible. Yeah, Essa said he saw the V1, but it was so late, so he didn't enter. He didn't want to FOMO into it. Yeah, that's a good idea, Essa. So if you guys ever miss a trade, don't FOMO into it. Just wait for the next one. You know, as you can see, there's a lot of entries here that are coming up. I mean, they don't come up super often, but they do come up. So, and I'm fine if I don't take any trades today because I'm still up a lot from yesterday. I'm up like what, like 6,000 from yesterday. Would have been a lot more if I had my copier on, but it's all good. I'm not going to force anything. We still have a whole week ahead of us. So let's see. Satyam said, I took 3V1s plus liquidity, made a total profit of 500 pips for the day. Thanks, Sean. Yeah, definitely excited. I'm glad to see you're profiting here with us every morning. So Hussein over here just marked up. He said previous high was tested when price came back. Exactly. Yeah. So it's another retest of it. So nice markup right there, Hussein. Yeah, it actually played out perfect right there, right? The previous high or resistance, that whatever you want to call it. It's actually like it's like a break and retest pattern of it. So yeah, this is why these tools here are very useful, because you guys can see how far it goes back. You guys can see how important these zones actually are. Because I feel like that's a problem with a lot of people. When you go to other courses and you guys learn from other people who teach trading, they don't use indicators. So like it's very subjective. Like they'll tell you, oh, this is a resistance, right? Or they'll tell you, oh, this is a high. But then everybody sees something differently. If you guys use my indicators, there's no guesswork. It literally does everything for you. So we can't say, okay, we can't say there's a liquidity here. And someone will say, oh, it's not a liquidity. I'm like, there is a liquidity because the indicator shows, right? But if you're doing it without indicators, like, so for example, you take the indicators off, you guys could mark up like a bunch of liquidity here, and everybody's gonna be looking at the something different, right? So that's why it's important that you guys have my indicators. It's not necessary, but it is important that you guys do have my indicators if you guys do plan on applying my strategies, because it makes all the difference. Like we already knew liquidity was there because you guys have my indicators, or you guys are watching my live. If you guys don't have my indicators, it's going to be almost impossible to catch the same exact trades that we're taking. Let's see. Andrew said my MT4 is lagging so hard, so it hit stop loss on the first liquidity for 100. Same happened to me. Wait, how did that happen, Andrew? Oh, because yours was lagging. Okay, so it probably entered it late. It either entered it late. Yeah, that's what I'm assuming, because this thing spiked up pretty heavy right here. Andrew. So I think liquidity was sitting right here actually. And your thing must have lagged like really bad, because so if you're going for 100 pips right here, like price actually pushed up like almost 300 pips right there. So if yours was lagging that bad, you probably entered like way up here in order for you to get stopped out of that trade. Yeah, Maria said that her order filled 7 seconds later. Yeah, no, it's unfortunate. I mean, it's all good. And you'll bounce back from it. It's just, it is unfortunate. MC4 does that sometimes. It's kind of annoying. I hate when it does that. And there's nothing you can do about it because it's such a dated platform. That's why I wish there was a funding company that will let you trade on TradingView. It'd be so much different. Like if I could trade directly on here and I could just right click and enter trades, that'd be like a game changer for me, 100%. Vince said MT4 is ahead by like 10 seconds. Candles are closing on MT4 before they're closing on TB. I haven't really noticed it, Vince, but I mean, you could be right. I have no idea. For me personally. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because that's happened before, Vince. It's kind of BS. It's kind of annoying when that happens because it messes up your order. Like the trade is still technically running and then it might have closed out early. That's why I was wondering how you hit TP on the first one, Vince, because it didn't hit TP for me, or I mean, I didn't take it, but he marked it up. Yeah, because Vince here has 2 TPs. This one actually didn't hit TP, but he got TP on it. I thought either he entered early or maybe that glitch happened where he got in and out. Unless MT4 is just glitching right now. Yeah, no, it's all good. I mean, it's all good though, guys. If you guys end up eating a loss due to MT4, you have a couple options. You could message FTMO, and then you have to send them your trade log, and you'll have to prove that it actually did enter late. If it doesn't show a delay on the change log, then you're kind of out of luck, unfortunately. And trust me, I've argued with him about that. They directly, like, they want the change log. They want to see that there's an error where your MT4 kind of froze up on you. And then if it says that, then they'll give you the credit back. If not, then they're just gonna say, oh well. Yeah, Maria said her order filled 7 seconds later. So if that's the case, Andrew, with you, I mean, it sounds like you and Maria had the same issue. Your order filled super late. Daniel said you should build a funding company. Yeah, no, I mean, that's still in the works, Daniel. So that's actually what we're doing here. So, I mean, I've given you guys a hint of like what we're working towards. We're not at that point yet. You know, it might not be started until like the end of the year, but it's not going to be a regular funding company. It's going to be more of a prop firm, like an actual prop firm. So just think of it as like FTMO, but you guys are going to be trading my capital and my strategies, and we're all going to win from it versus like you applying whatever you want. Because like I want to make sure that you guys win, right? The more money you guys make trading for my prop firm or my company or whatever I'm going to create, the more money we both make. So I'm going to be basically guaranteeing your success, because the better you do, the better I do. So basically like this community we have here, except you guys will be trading whoever gets invited will be trading my capital. So it'll be like these live sessions. Everyone's taking my V1s, V2s, liquidity pushes, etc. But then we keep this all, in-house. Daniel's asking, are we going to be able to trade on TradingView? I mean, that's my plan, Daniel. So if I can find a broker or some sort of setup where we can get it through TradingView, then that would be my option. There was a funny company that used to have it, but they took it off. I'm assuming there was issues with it. If you guys ever heard of, I can't remember the name, but it's like this weird, you guys have probably seen advertising for it. Oh, Search Trader. Okay. So Search Trader was the name of the funding company. They used to let you trade on TradingView, but they took it off like last year. So I'm not sure what happened, but that was one of the brokers that used to allow you to trade. Not brokers, one of the funding companies that would let you trade directly on TradingView. Let's see, Hussein's asking, will you be taking any trades today, or you think you missed the entry already? So the only entry that I would be looking for here, Hussein, would be a high-level momentum scalp, which we don't have yet. I'm not doing any more liquidity. The only liquidity that I take is the first one on open. I'm only looking for a high-level momentum scalp, but I don't see any here. So if we get one, possible entry for us, but if we don't, then I'm not going to force anything. Just keep in mind, today's Tuesday, so we have a whole week ahead of us still. Made a pretty good amount of profit yesterday, so I'm not going to force anything today. If I see something good, then I'll take it, but I'm not going to try to like squeeze something in that's not really there. So new home sales was positive. Richmond Manufacturing Index was negative. Let's see the news for tomorrow. We have Yellen speaking tomorrow at 7:05. So we got to make our trade before she starts speaking. Hopefully we'll get a liquidity push, and it's pretty much going to be it for the day tomorrow. So tomorrow it looks like we might just get a liquidity push. Thursday, pending home sales at 7. Prelim GDP at 5:30. Unemployment claims at 5:30. This year is high impact, so might be a bit risky on open, but yeah, Wednesday looks like we're just going to have a liquidity push. Thursday looks like we might have something in between. We have another news event at 7. And then Friday looks like we should be okay. Aside from 7 o'clock, fuel and consumer sentiment. All right, so there's a big red candle right here. There's no entry for us though, guys. So right here, price spiked down super heavily, but there's no entry for us right here. We need a higher high in order for us to have this as a high level momentum scalp. There's a lower high right here, but it needs to be a higher high. So no entry here for a high level momentum scalp. Hussein said missed due to problem count not allowing. That was actually yesterday, Hussein. You might be mixing the days. Today there was no liquidity on open. Yesterday is where I missed the trade because my account I was getting one of my payouts processed. So my main account on my copier wasn't working, was disabled. So that's what happened yesterday. Today there was just there was no liquidity because we had news at 6:45 and then that liquidity didn't get hit until later. And then I canceled my order because we had news at 7 o'clock. So that news event earlier, you could have traded it. From what I've checked, you can trade it. There's only certain news events that are blocked. So when you guys do get funded, remember to read the contract. Don't just sign everything and not read the contract, because the contract is going to tell you specific news events that you for sure can't trade. There's not too many. There's maybe 4 news events that you can't trade for a US30. For that specific event, you probably wouldn't be able to trade US assets though. You couldn't trade your USD or odd USD, any of those major pairs. Thanks, Essa. No, definitely. Hussein said MFF allows all the news events. Yeah, but that's what makes MFF a subpar company, right? Try trading a news event with MFF and then try to get a payout, and I'm pretty sure they're going to give you some kickback. They're going to say, "Oh, you traded a news event and you didn't hold a trade for 5 seconds, and we're not going to pay you out." It's happened to me before. So MFF allows certain things, but when you try to get your payout, they're going to give you some kickback. They've given me kickback before for scalping. They said I wasn't holding the trade long enough. So that's going to be the same as trading news. If you're trading news and you get in and out of position within a second or 2 seconds, it's going to be the same difference. So just keep that in mind, guys. Unless you've gone if you've been because I've been with MFF for 2 years now, or a year and a half, and I've run into a lot of issues with them. They're not horrible issues, but they are going to give you issues, especially if you're a news trader. Because when they pay you out, they're going to check every trade. And if they see you're making 1,000 per day, and then all of a sudden you're making 10,000 if you traded a news event, they're going to give you some sort of kickback. Let's see. Rick said he's with Earn to Trade. They have been bad. I don't have any experience with Earn to Trade, so I'm not sure. I can't say anything about them. There's a lot of funding companies out there though, so some are good, some are bad, some are really bad. I only use FTMO and MFF right now. So I don't know anybody who's used Earn to Trade. I've never even heard of them before. But if they're working for you, then great, Rick, keep using them. And then maybe if they keep working for you, I'll probably try them out as well. I think my main goal right now is looking for more funding companies that allow scalpers. It's really hard to find funding companies that allow for scalpers. C-Soup's asking if that's a futures prop firm. I'll Google it. Let's see, Earn to Trade. They seem like they're fine. Trustpilot looks all right. The website looks kind of sketchy, but they have decent reviews. So this is the website that Rick is referring to. It just looks sketchy to me. Looks like a little kid developed this website or something. But the Trustpilot does look good, so I'm assuming they're good. Yeah, have you gotten any payouts from them, Rick? C-Soup's just curious, as he mentioned. And I'm curious if they allow copiers and if it's an MT4. They're located in Wyoming, random state. Yeah, I'll take a look at it. Thanks, Rick, for the tip. Because another thing too is that I need them to allow copiers, so Rick has been paid out by them. Okay, guys. So whenever you guys use a funding company, make sure that you get paid out first, right? That's going to be one of the main things, or make sure that you're funded. Because so Rick, I've tried a lot of the different companies. I've tried companies where I get funded right away, and then as soon as I get funded, they put me on some BS server, and then my trades don't work anymore. Like TFF, that's like the number one kick in the face. I never would recommend TFF to anybody if you're scalping. I've done them twice. I've passed them. I've gotten funded, and then as soon as I got funded, I'm on a totally different server where like you can't even scalp on it with them. So just keep that in mind. The challenge phase is different. Make sure that you guys are funded and you guys actually get paid out, and then you could maybe give an opinion on a funding company. Because I've been looking for funding companies, but a lot of them are super sketchy. Like they'll be good in the beginning, and then once you pass, they put you on a funded account, and then you're on a funded account, you can't even trade the same way you were trading earlier to pass. And then sometimes they charge like crazy fees where like your trades aren't even worth them anymore. Yeah, just keep that in mind, guys. If you guys are going to use a funding company, make sure that you get funded with them and get a payout. Those are the main things. If you get funded and it's the same market conditions, and then you get a payout, then that company's great, solid. If not, then just be wary. Because I thought True Forex Funds would be a good one because a lot of people were using them until like everybody started complaining once they got funded. All right, there's no entry for us right here, guys. We're still looking for any possible opportunity here, but still nothing here yet. All right, so as you guys can see, the range is actually getting a lot tighter. So the range is getting super tight right here. We're getting closer to 8 o'clock. We're not there yet, but we're at like 7:30. So 30 minutes till 8. Looks like price is going to squeeze a bit before it ends up, doing anything. Essa said today, I am the one who is yawning. Market is so boring. I know, no, same here. Essa. It is pretty boring. There's nothing going on right now. Liquidity is pretty close, but hasn't been hit yet. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Otherwise, we're just going to hang around for a bit. I don't really have anything to take right now. I've been looking for an entry here, but there's just nothing coming up. There's a buy signal here that's currently pending, but there's not going to be an entry because there's a higher high right here. So there is a lower low right here, but there's a higher high in between it. There can't be anything in between. It's got to be a lower low with the buy signal, breaking close above, entry point, and then vice versa, same in the opposite direction. Hussein's asking which prop firm is best in your experience. FTMO is number one. I've been with FTMO for a long time now. This is really what propelled my trading journey. Like I was trading a personal account for a long time and I wasn't really making like a crazy amount. I was making like good profit, like a couple $100 here and there, but I wasn't making like in the thousands like I'm doing now. I started using FTMO. I think I was probably one of the first people to use FTMO like in the trading space, like publicly, because not everybody knew about it. I was kind of worried to do it because the challenge was so expensive. And I was like, crap, if I get scammed, then I'm gonna be so upset because FTMO, the website used to look super scammy. So I use them and then they've been pretty consistent since I started using them. So FTMO for sure, they have the best execution times, probably the best spread overall. That's Reliant, and their payouts are on point. So I don't think I've had any issues with payouts from them ever. So yeah, if you want to use a funding company, I would for sure recommend that you do FTMO first, and then after that, maybe look for anything else. But number one is FTMO. Number two is MFF. They're not the best, but they're okay. And then that's pretty much it. I just have those two that I can recommend. Yeah, C68, who knew it was going to be solid? Yeah, I know. Nobody knew because like I tried to look online for reviews of FTMO and nobody had any reviews. I heard of FTMO like randomly and I just ended up doing it. I got funded after like a couple months and I went and bought a brand new car like immediately right after because I was like, this is awesome. Like I'm going to keep making like a bunch of money just trading their funds. So yeah, for sure FTMO is like number one. And then MFF's number two. I haven't really tried anything else aside from CFF, which I don't recommend. I mean, they're probably okay if you trade intraday or swing trading, but not for scalping. Candace said, what's the max account on FTMO? It's a 400K total allocation. That's max you can do. So you can do two 200Ks or four 400Ks. There's liquidity here that's going to get hit, guys. It actually just got hit right now. I'm not in this position though. Let's mark it up for you guys. Let's see, price pushed up from right here. Yeah, this liquidity will probably push through. I'm not taking the position though. It's too late. Yep, looks like spot hit CP. CJ said, I remember you talking about one prop firm with an E at the end. What's the deal with them? E8, CJ. They're based in Texas. I haven't used them yet. Other people in the group say that they're okay, but I personally don't know. I haven't used them before, so I can't really say exactly if they're good or not. I know in the past they had like really high fees, so it was like almost impossible to scalp with them, but I heard that they changed. So I haven't tried them out. The people who said that they were good again haven't really talked about them, so it's probably not a good sign. They're probably not doing something. It probably didn't work out like how they thought it would. So I don't know anybody that's using E8 right now, but in the past, they had like extremely high commissions. Like the fees are so high that like if you took a scalp for like 1,000 profit, you probably make like, 30% of that. So it wasn't even worth the risk. And I don't know if they copy the, I don't know if they allow copiers either. Let's see, Edwin said, would you recommend MFF with their slippage? So again, guys, the only one I'm referring that I can recommend would be FTMO. If you guys have not maxed out your FTMO and you're not getting payouts from FTMO, then don't bother looking at MFF. I know it's like $100 cheaper, but is $100 cheaper really worth it if you're going to a more unreliable company? So like going back to Edwin's question, because he's asking if I would recommend MFF with their slippage. Again, if you're not done with your FTMO, then don't bother looking at MFF. I feel like a lot of people want to be cheap with these funding companies, but they want to be cheap until they get screwed by the company, right? And they're like, oh, I should have just listened to you, Sean. Like if I got $1 for every time someone told me they should have listened to me, I'd be freaking like a billionaire right now. Because literally I tell people to do certain things and they do the complete opposite, whether it's the following strategy or doing a funding company. I always tell people FTMO is going to be your number one funding company. If you guys have not maxed out and scaled your FTMO, then don't even bother looking at like MFF. I know I use MFF, but I wouldn't bother looking at them until you've like, pretty much maxed out your FTMO. It's just crazy. Like I see so many people like that they'll go to like a cheaper company because it's like maybe like $100 cheaper, or they'll go to another company because there's no 10-day trading limit. But the 10-day trading limits, it's set in place for you to not like revenge trade or like trade down, right? The criteria for these companies they're there for a reason. Like there's a reason why FTMO requires 10 days of trading before you get funded. It's because they don't want you to like just get lucky off one trade and then get funded and then blow your account once you're funded. So, back to what I was saying earlier, guys, and what Hussein mentioned here. Hussein said MFF challenge has got less restrictions compared to FTMO. They do, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's better, right? I always feel like people are looking for the easy way out. Even like when they're trading, like when people join our community, the number one question I get is what's the best strategy, right? Or what's the easiest strategy? The thing is, all strategies are good and all strategies are easy. It's just what works for you. But I get that same question like almost every day. And C6 said, but if you can't pass one, you're not going to pass another with spreads and commission. Yeah, exactly, C6. So yeah, guys, my recommendation is always going to stand. FTMO is going to be number one. And then once you max out your allocation on there, then move on to MFF. And then from there, you can always experiment with other companies. But FTMO is going to be the gold standard. until some like other companies proven it wrong. Anyways, let me scroll up real quick. I think I missed a question over here. D said, would you recommend FTMO for beginners as well? I mean, if you could follow directions, D, then yeah, then it's recommended for anyone, really. It's the same with trading, right? Or just anything that you do in general. Like if you can't follow directions for anything, then it's not going to work, whether you're a beginner or whether you're an expert trader. I've seen people who are considered experienced traders that have been trading for like 10 years or 5 years, 5 to 10 years, and they still can't pass FTMO, or they can't even follow directions with FTMO. There's only a few directions there. There's a max daily loss and a max loss in total. But I've seen experienced traders who can't follow that direction. So it doesn't matter if you're a beginner or an expert or an experienced trader or whatever. It's for anybody. If you can follow directions, then it'll work for you. All right, so the liquidity push here is still pushing, guys. I'm not in this position. I just marked it up for you guys to follow. So even if it hits TP, I'm not going to count the trade. I just wanted to mark it up for you guys here. But you guys can see this is why I don't want to trade right now, because the market's not really doing anything. You can see it's just going sideways. And these candles right here are not looking good at all. As you guys can see, these candles are pretty nasty. They're just, I mean, it's crazy that it can't push like just 100 pips to get to a TP. It's just going back and forth at where it's currently at. So this is like definition of consolidation. Anyways, let me scroll up real quick. I want to make sure that I didn't miss anything over here. I think we had one question from iPhone. iPhone said, is it still a sell bias? Let's take a look. So looking over here on the shorter time frames, they are currently bullish. So you can see over here on the 1 minute, 5 minute, and 10 minute time frames, the 1 and 5 are bullish because price is above the pivots. The trend meter is green. Pivots are angling up. The 10 minute over here is bullish neutral. Price is above the pivots. However, the trend meter down below is currently blue, and the pivots are starting to angle up. So on the shorter time frames, price is bullish neutral. On the higher time frames, price is still bearish. You can see price here is below the pivots on the 30 minute time frame, same on the 1 hour. Pivots are angling down. Prices, however, in between the pivots. So with that said, it's pretty much a mixed bag right here. This is a bullish neutral. This right here is pretty much bearish neutral up until straight neutral. So there's not really much of a bias here with regard to the technicals. Looking over here at the fundamentals, let's see, US30 is currently, it's flat. It's at like 0 points. So with that said, there is no fundamental bias. So there's no fundamental bias. There's no retail sentiment. The technicals here are kind of mixed. So I would say it's slightly bullish, not very strong, but it is slightly bullish. Full TP on the liquidity push, guys, if you guys took it. I didn't take the trade again, so as I mentioned, I'm not going to count the trade. So, you know, I just want to be transparent with you guys. I know these trades hit. A lot of my strategies here work perfectly fine, but if I'm not taking the trade, they're not going to count as an official entry. So I could show you guys like, you know, 5, 10, 20 wins a day, but I'm only going to count the ones that I actually take. So like for today, I took 0 trades. So there's not going to be any trades counted for today's live session. If I lose a trade or if I win a trade, it'll count. But even though I did mark up, you know, this trade and the earlier liquidity and they both hit TP, I'm not going to count those as wins. There was also a pivot scalp right here that CJ mentioned. So CJ mentioned there was a pivot scalp right here, and he was 100% right. There was a green buy signal right there. It was above the pivots. Trend meter was green. Pivots were angling up. Strong, nice bullish bias, and that right there would have been a pivot scalp. So there goes liquidity. Got knocked out. Next level of area to test is going to be the next level right here. So just sitting at where we're at right now, guys, I don't think I'm going to take any trades. For me personally, I just don't think it's worth the risk. Also, it's just, I'm not in the proper mindset right now to take any trades. I'm identifying these trades and I'm telling you guys that they're coming up, but I'm just not in the mindset right now to take trades. Kind of zoned out a little bit for today because the market is not really moving too directional. You know, it kind of pushes up, consolidates, ranges, pushes up a little bit, consolidates, ranges. There's not enough movement here for me to want to take anything with conviction. Like I'm not really confident with taking any positions right now. So, you know, just a reminder, guys, you guys don't have to trade every single day. If you guys are cool with like not trading, you know, if you guys have no losses for the day, that's still like a win for me. I'd rather have a day with no losses rather than have a day with a loss taking a dumb trade. Like winning days and days where I don't lose are both considered wins to me, because it just kind of helps with your trade psychology to when you're disciplined. If you don't feel comfortable and you're not 100%, then just don't bother forcing anything here. But anyways, there goes a liquidity push right there, full TP. Next area of liquidity is going to be up there. It's a little further up, but it's right there. So let me scroll over here real quick. Yeah, Patricia said I didn't take, but that was not pretty. Exactly. It was a messy move, Patricia. And I'm glad I didn't take it, because I probably would have been stressed out if I was in that position. Yeah, CJ said, oh, well, no losses, still win for him. Martha said she took the pivot. Nice, Martha. So CJ said he's going to live vicariously. I'll live vicariously through you too, Martha. So Martha there locked in some profits. Looks like we got a couple more profits over here. So we got Nick over here. Gotcha. Okay, so Nick initially entered a trade loss, and then he got the second push to the upside. So solid right there, Nick. Little slight recovery there. Here's Andrew's from earlier. As you guys remembered, Andrew, he accidentally entered. Well, he didn't accidentally enter. His MT4 froze on him, so he ended up eating a loss there. But then he re-entered and made some back. But it's all good. I mean, your loss could have been a lot worse, Andrew. So just keep that in mind. You'll bounce back from it. You need like maybe 1 or 2 more trades. So maybe tomorrow we'll have a liquidity push on open, and then it'll bring you back into profit. Here's Kenneth over here, total profit of 1,850 for the day. All wins for the day. Nice work. Take that on open. We got Patricia over here, total profit of 1,366 for the day. All wins as well. Nice work, Patricia. We got Nathan over here. He said he got in late on the liquidity, didn't feel comfortable holding it, so we exited manually, and he's now done for the day. So we locked in a total profit of about 1,000. So nice work right there, Nathan. All right, solid. So I think those are all the profits for the day so far. If you guys have any more profits to post up, feel free to send them in, and I'll showcase you guys on the social media later when I cover everyone's profits. My account's pretty much empty. I got nothing to show for myself, but it's all good. So there's no liquidity here coming up. Next area of liquidity is like way up here. It's about 1,180 pips away. So it's quite a distance away. Looking over here on the main chart, I don't see any high-low momentums coming up anytime soon. I mean, price is pushing up more higher highs. And it's getting close to this area of liquidity. I don't know why this area is here, but I don't see it on this one. I probably didn't mark it up on the higher time frames, so it's all good. I'm not really looking for liquidity now anyways. All right, so price is pushing up right here. There's another area of liquidity right there. So if price does reach that point, it may push up further to the next level right there. How far is it? Oh, it's enough to hit TP. Cool. So Hussein's asking, let's see. Yeah, Hussein's asking, are TP and stop loss conditions to current market data for the strategies at your website? So I mean, depends on the strategy, Hussein. So you have to be a little more specific with which strategy you're referring to. Some strategies just have a set TP stop loss. So let me just show you an example. Okay, so like for the momentum scalp over here, it says use a 100 to 300 or 250 to 500 TP stop loss based on conditions, right? That's for a high-low momentum scalp. If you're trading something like a B1 variation, which is a quick reversal pattern, it's a set 100, 300 TP stop loss. So it just depends on like which strategy you're applying. Some of them are based off market conditions. Some of them are just fixed. Like for this strategy right here, this is a quick move. So it's just a quick spike. It's a reversal pattern, B1 variation. This one's just automatic 100 pips every time you take it. Because for this type of strategy, you just want to get in and out very quickly. Rather than for something like a high-low momentum scalp, you can possibly hold it a little longer. just based on market conditions, because sometimes the market will be moving fast, sometimes it'll be moving slow. But this strategy is more of a directional type strategy. So when you're applying this one right here, odds of it pushing further than 100 pips are probably likely if that's the case with certain market conditions. If that makes sense, we're saying. If there's confusion there, just let me know. But yeah, some strategies have set TP stop loss. Some of them are adaptive to market conditions. Barty's asking, did you take any trades, Sean? No trades for me today, Barty. I traded yesterday, made about like 6,000 off that one trade. So I'm pretty satisfied with what I locked in for the week so far. So this is all I locked in for the week. I wasn't able to get my copier on for this day. So I just took one trade. So I'm up like this much for the day so far, or for the week so far. And that's pretty much all I have at the moment. Oh yeah, no, exactly. So Visual Trader here just mentioned the 10-day trading rule is good, but they don't force it. Like they let traders open a 0.01 line. And I agree with you too, Visual. So yeah, the 10-day trading rule is important if done properly, but it kind of forces you to space out your trades. But being able to open it with 0.01 doesn't really help it. But it's helpful that you take your time with your trade, so you don't like try to pass your challenge in one day. Koch said, I heard good things about Apex Trader. Anyone has experience? So I haven't heard of them. Well, I know I've heard of them, but I haven't tried them myself. I actually do want to try them. Adriano is asking, can I look at Elite? Is that a funding company? I looked up Elite and it's a mortgage company. Adriano. So if you have a link, you can send the link and I can take a look. Kong is asking, why don't I trade on first class Forex funds? Because I don't want to try it out unless like I have it based off like so disclaimer, guys, I know the owner of first class Forex funds. He was a trader in our community a long time ago. So if you guys remember Kyle, he's a good friend. Kyle's a friend, but I don't use his funding company because I haven't really had anyone in our own group tell me that it's good, right? If someone here tells me that a funding company is good, I'll take a look at it and then I'll give it a shot. But I don't base things off like people that I know. Like if you guys were in the community and you started a company, I'm not just going to sign up for your company just because you were like, you're my friend or something, right? I want to go based off like what other people think, because I'm not going to waste my time and do something and then it's not going to be beneficial for me or for you guys. So yeah, for like what Cog mentioned, you guys I do hang out with Kyle every once in a while. Kyle's cool. He's a cool guy. It's just the funding company, it's a different story because he doesn't run everything there. Like there's someone that's above Kyle. Kyle does run first class Forex, but there's people that are above him that make the decision. So just keep that in mind, guys. Kyle's not the main guy that is making all decisions within first class Forex funds. When he started that company, he had people who invested in him and he has to go by what they say and they have control over everything. So just keep that in mind. I have nothing good or bad to say. It's just, I just missed the trader. It's all good, guys. I missed the high-low momentum scalp. I just saw you guys talking about it right now. CJ said, I saw CJ say that it hit, but he didn't give me a heads up. Like, hey, Sean, high-low momentum coming up. It's okay. I'm not really in the mood to take any trades today anyway, so I probably would have skipped it, but there was a high-low momentum scalp here. I just saw that it hit after because CJ said that it hit, but I didn't even see it come up. Nice. Barty said that Apex gives 600K count. That seems kind of fishy. So Barty said that there's this funding company called Apex that'll give you a 600K count for $399. That seems really fishy because it's like 1,000 on like FTMO and it's like over 1,000. And then MFF, it's still like about 1,000. So if the funding company is only charging $399 for a 600K account, I don't know. Personally, I don't know. I can't really say. Yeah, Sisu said sus. Don't give them your $399. Yeah, I don't because that's a big price difference, already from like all the major funding companies. So I don't know. I'll take a look at them, but I can't really say because if you, I don't know if you guys saw that kid. So there's a kid in my area where my family lives, and he like got scammed from buying this Hellcat. You guys probably saw it on like meme pages or like Reddit and stuff. But this kid, he saw this Hellcat that was on sale like on Craigslist or something, and he was selling for like $10,000. Hellcats are not that cheap. So he paid for it, and that car was like a stolen car, and it ended up being owned by a rental company. So like if the offer is too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. Maddie, you know the guy, he's from your area, Mr. Ritos. Uh, but they started GoFundMe for him, so he got his money back. It was like his life savings, and he borrowed money from friends and family to buy the Hellcat. And like as soon as he got the car was reported stolen. So yeah. If the offer is too good to be true, just, maybe you want to double check it. Anyways, guys, let me see if there's anything else over here. So Adriana's the Elite Capital. All right, so I'm looking over here. I mean, I look at Elite Capital. Adriana, I'm not sure if this is what you're talking about because it's a mortgage company. So I'm pretty sure it's probably not this. Yeah, if you have a link for it, I mean, you can send it over, but I looked up Elite Capital and it just comes up as a mortgage company. Damn, I just missed another trade. It's okay. So I don't think I'm gonna take any trades today, guys. There's another high level momentum scalp right here. They're just coming up too quickly. And I'm answering these other questions, so I'm kind of not focused right now. But there was one more right here. It looks like it's still running in profit. Actually already hit TP. Damn, CJ again over here with the, are you in this, Martha? How about me, CJ? Are you in this, Sean? No, it's all good. CJ just mentioned like 2 high-level momentum scouts, and I missed both of them. And Martha and CJ are just eating. They're just eating at all these full TPs. It's all good, guys. I'm just messing with you. I'm not really, like as I mentioned, I'm still not really in the mindset to take any trades right now, but I'm glad that you guys are profiting off this. So Martha over here and CJ both identified a high level momentum scalp in both directions. There was one right here for a sell, and there was one right here for a buy. Going over the criteria again right here, guys, you're going to identify higher highs and lower lows. There's a higher high right here, sell signal, broken close past pivots 1 and 2. That was a full TP for a sell. And then Martha and CJ over here caught another one to the buy side over here. There's a lower low, buy signal, breaking close past pivots 1 and 2 for a buy right there. So if you guys took it, great. If you guys didn't, it's okay. 2 full TPs right there. I'm not going to count either trade because I didn't take a trade myself. But yeah, you guys are seeing these play out. Hussein said, hi, Sean, why don't you send your entries, exits in writing of signals? I mean, Hussein, if I was fast enough to just take the actual trade, I don't think I'd be fast enough to type it up, right? Those trades came up so fast. Like if I wasn't able to even take the trade myself, unless I'm like Superman where I can type at like 0.0.0.0 seconds, 0.0.0 finger strokes per second, I would not be able to send out a signal. Just saying, because I missed the trade myself. Even if I was paying attention, I wouldn't be able to type up the signal for you. I was gonna get pissed again if there was another entry here, but there was no entry on this one, thankfully. But yeah, do you see how fast these trades come up, Hussein? I mean, I would like you to try and write up the signals and tell me how easy it is, because you're going to be pretty frustrated because it's going to be nearly impossible. So you try to write up the signals and then let me know how it works out for you. And I'm just messing with you. I'm not being an asshole. I'm just messing with you. It's not possible. It's like literally impossible. Yeah, Hussein said, yeah, you're right. It's like literally, because I can't type it up fast enough. For me to type up like buy, sell, etc., it's like unless you can type really fast, then well, even if you could type really fast, these trades come up like within seconds. So yeah, CJ said it's better to watch live. So main reason why I can't send out these as signals, Hussein, is because they're too fast. If I was swing trading or like intraday trading, because I used to call signals, if you guys remember before, I did call signals. Sorry guys, 1 second, my dog's about to bark. One second, guys. All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry, I just gotta open the door real quick. But yeah, no, I was saying like what I was saying earlier, it's just impossible for me to call signals. Trust me, if I could call signals, I would call them, but it's just impossible. It happens too quickly. So I'm just not able to do it. But yeah, no, it would be nice if I could, but there's no way to like preset it. The only thing that I could probably preset might be like liquidity pushes, right? Those might be able to preset. The only problem with that too is that the pricing difference with MT4 and TradingView. So it's going to be pretty much impossible because the pricing changes like so frequently between TradingView and MT4 that it's just impossible for me to put that down either. Unless I give you the TradingView price and then you just calculate the difference. But then again, at that point, it's like you might as well do it yourself. So yeah. Let's see. Visual Traders said Apex 600K, they get you in with cheap fee and they get you with the trailing stop. So you'll have to keep paying a reset. Oh, dang. Okay, yeah. So there was a catch to Apex. Visual Trader right there mentioned. So I don't know if you want to reach out to Visual Trader, who asked about it, Barty. You guys can just discuss, but yeah, seems like Visual Trader has experience with them, and it doesn't sound like it's good. But all right, guys. So I think this might be it for our live session. It's getting close to 8 o'clock. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat right now. There's a momentum scalp. So there's a high level momentum scalp here that's pending. I'm not going to take the trade though, because it's getting so close to 8 o'clock. It's not really worth the risk right now. And price is pretty much consolidating. So even if it does close, it's probably going to go sideways for a bit. So again, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I will be back here for the mentoring session later at 2 o'clock. Let's see, Barack said, I hate signals because they make you fully dependent on the issuer. I like K2 because you learn within live and you can take entries when they show up. Yeah, and I agree too. That's my main goal as well, guys. I want you guys to actually be like, self-reliant traders where you guys can trade on your own. You guys don't have to worry about me calling signals all the time. Even though my signals were good, it's just a lot of work for me. And it's also, it's not beneficial for you guys in the long term. So let's see. Barack over here, total profit of 9,530 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Barack. It's a great profit for the day so far. Here's Kevin over here. Kevin said, I have a 150,000 funded account with Apex Trader. They always pay on time. Execution times are good. You can use Tradeovate or NinjaTrader to trade. They use a trailing drawdown to get funded, 7 days minimum. The only thing I don't like is that for the first 3 months, you can only take out 5,000 max. Then after that, you can take out any amount you want. Overall, he's happy with them. They charge a monthly subscription fee, but I'm profitable with them. So it's just another funded account that pays him out. I don't trade it every day, maybe 1, 2, 3 times a week. just make 1,000 and then he closes it out. Oh, awesome. Thanks, Kevin. So Kevin gave a pretty detailed breakdown of Apex. He actually uses them, and he says he only uses them like, a few times a day or a few times a week. And then he just closes it out. So it's just extra profit on that account. But so the downside is as well as that you have to use a separate platform, which kind of sucks. I prefer to use a copier because it's just streamlined. I would hate to have to switch between platforms. Here's some profits here from CSUK. CSUK locked in a total profit of 2,660 on this account, all wins. So nice work right there. CSUK second account, total profit of 1,150 for the day. And CSUK's third account, total profit of 6,760, all wins. So great work right there, CSUK. And I think that's about it. Hussein said, hi, Sean, can you suggest me which strategy do I pick and start with, since there's so many on the website, it's overwhelming. So the main two strategies that I would recommend that you focus on would be the ones that we do here on the live session. The reason for that is because I'm doing them every day. So you have like actual live examples and live analysis, and you can follow them exactly how I do pretty much every day. So the main strategy would be the high-low momentum scalp. That'd be number one. And the second strategy would be the liquidity push on open. And I'm pretty sure that's like one of your favorite ones anyway. So you might as well stick to those two. So just take liquidity push on open with me. I'm going to have to take that every morning. And then also these high-low momentum scalps that I'm going to try to take as often as they come up. So one of the two or both. I mean, it's just really up to preference, right? Whichever one you want to use. I probably would just stick to the liquidity push for now. And then once you master that, then move on to the next. Johnny's asking, if I hit my daily maximum loss for the day, does that mean I failed? Yes, that is correct, Johnny. So just make sure you stay below 5%. So for me, I only risk up to 3% a day. Don't go anything past that and you'll be fine. And I think that's it. Yeah, no problem, Hussein. So Hussein, if you are free later today, we're having the mentoring session. So if you want to attend that session, feel free to attend at 2 p.m. Pacific and ask whatever questions you have. If you want examples of liquidity push, since that's going to be one of your main strategies, or examples of a high-level momentum scalp, I can pull up whatever example that you want. Also, I'd recommend just back testing it, going back to previous days. I'm pretty sure you know how to do it, right, Hussein? You just go back to like a random date. Like, for example, if I wanted to look at high-level momentum scalps, let me say like last week, right? I'll just go back over here to like the 19th or the 18th or whatever. I'm going to hit replay. We'll go over here and then pretty much just look for entries right there, right? What you can do is you can replay the charts to test out and back test. Like, for example, right here, there's an entry right here, right? And then if you have a problem with any of these entries, just mark down the timestamp and I'll go back and I'll answer whatever question you have. So higher high right there, price breaking close past the pivots right there, sell signal, go down for 100 pips, full TP. So if you take this trade and you're like, oh, I don't understand why I took this trade, then just get the timestamp, send me the timestamp, and I'll give you an analysis and break it down for you. So, all right, guys, have a great rest of your day. If you guys want to attend the mentoring session, I'm having a mentoring session later today at 2 p.m. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to email me, Sean@KodiPiTrades.com, or message me on Telegram, which should be a quick response. Other than that, guys, I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. If not, later